Hello and happy Monday. We're taking a short break from how the business is played as a podcast, which will be relaunching in January of 2026. I have to weigh in on what is happening in the college football playoffs. There's a couple of main characters in this storyline. One is the committee that has been ranking teams for the last 6 weeks. Second is the ACC Championship game, which should not be a part of the story, but yet we find ourselves here. Lastly is Notre Dame. So let's get into it. It came out that Miami jumped in and beat Notre Dame in the last spot to make it to the playoffs. On its head, it's not a big deal because Miami did beat Notre Dame in the head-to-head. For the entirety of this time frame, the committee has been ranking Notre Dame in the top 10. So when they were waiting for the final results, they expected to be there. However, they weren't. Miami was. What's also very interesting about this is Miami was not playing in the ACC Championship game, which I found super odd. Like, shout out to Duke. They won the game in overtime. Very exciting for that program. First championship, I think, since 1962 or something along those lines. It's been a while. So very happy for Duke. However, why wasn't it Miami in Virginia to begin with? I'm very confused by that. Here's how it actually plays in the story. If Miami had played Virginia and beat Virginia, it'd be more believable that they would allow Miami to leapfrog Notre Dame. Why? Because secretly everyone wants Notre Dame to be in a conference. And I feel like the powers that be are finding ways to show Notre Dame that by snubbing them at this time or doing other things that have happened over the past years. But had Miami won the ACC championship, they could have actually played that card. But since Miami wasn't in the game, a couple things happened here. One, the ACC championship meant nothing. Neither one of those teams are going anywhere in terms of the CFP. So what did that game stand for? A Power Four conference with a meaningless final. Again, this is no shade to the student athletes, but that's actually what took place. What was really, really interesting, and there's a lot of people that are giving them flack over it, but Notre Dame decided that we're not going to play in whatever bowl game you give us. It was CFP playoffs or bust, and we're out. You're not going to get our huge fan base that travels all across the world. Yes, world. They've traveled to Ireland to watch them play. You're not going to get their TV ratings. Absolutely not. We're going to just sit this out. And while I'm usually pro student athlete experience all the time, I understood this business decision, and I would have to guess that the student athletes at Notre Dame also understood it. And the coach and the AD were not making these decisions without thinking about these guys and the staff who work so hard all year. We're not going to take the secondary prize. We were here for national championship. That's how we've spoken all season. That's how we played, and that's what we think we deserve. So what do we have here? We have an expanded playoff, which everyone said we needed because so many teams were getting shut out. It finally happened. We had rankings that took place for the past, I don't know how many weeks, that had teams ahead of other ones, all for the very last moment, a team to be leapfrogged. Oh, and let's not forget, the ACC championship meant absolutely nothing this year. So for me, this is very interesting because it seemed like there was a lot of business at play that's not being discussed. We're talking about teams and rankings and who should be first or second, but what is the business behind this? What is the business behind having Notre Dame play in some other bowl where they could draw a lot of fans and a lot of ratings? Like, that's not bad if they're not in the playoffs and they still can draw so much money for ESPN. I think that also people want Notre Dame to be in a conference, and they're not. There's dollars behind it that are making some of these plays happen, and it's an exciting time of year. Let's just buckle up and see who actually wins this thing. And that is how the business is played.